oh, we should start school later. We should start school earlier because of the kid, or later because of the kids, because of the circadian rhythm. And the counterpoint is no, because the teachers, when you get older, your circadian rhythm is meant to start earlier in the day.
Yeah, but teachers can suck it as far as I'm concerned.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get that, right? But like, what I'm saying is that when you have to suddenly shift it, like, people die.
I think that's natural selection, if I'm honest.
I don't know. There's like one of the podcasters, one of the guys is like,
are you dying because you shifted an hour, dude? Cast for a week. You killed like
God.
Seriously.
Nah, all right, whatever. AG,
come on. I literally had an American schedule a week ago, and now I'm back in SCA schedule. Fucking grow a pair.
This toxic masculinity, Reddit.
What is that toxic masculinity? I'm not saying. Oh, I guess grow a pair specifically is toxic masculinity. Fair point. Sorry.
All right, well, there we go. He's learned and he's adjusted. Ready to go?
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, we got him, boys.
Shut up.
I'm going to go to the camera real quick, and then we'll do lower thirds, and then we'll pop over to the...
Dire team.
Ready? Let's shout out Monster this time.
As we never do.
Yep. Hello, we're live.
Hello. Oh, yeah. Monster, we're here casting the Monster Energy Dota 713 online.
You know, when I said let's shout out Monster this time, I didn't just mean
Monster! Monster! Well, when you have enough cans of this stuff, you know, all you want to do is scream and shout because you're just filling with energy.
Yeah, it fuels your day quicker than making a coffee. Quite nice. And you know what? Support the Dota scene as well. So shout out to Monster Energy for their supports here of the BTS Summit 13 online. Yeah.
But I like to think that the money that I pay, you know, when I buy a Monster contributes directly to the Dota prize pool. And to be honest, the same percentage that you put in the Battle Pass is kind of very similar to Monster. So you might be contributing more if you buy a Monster.
Actually, yeah.
At this point.
You know, there's a lot of really... I don't know. TNC though, they definitely need some contributions. They need some energy, that's for sure. They need some Monster energy because they did not look good in our last game here. I mean, I hate to dwell on it because AG, they did play well, but Armel just had a bad game as well.
Yeah, Armel did not have a great game. I think that they were... I think they kind of underestimated AG, to be honest. They went for a lot of plays that were like, all right, this only works if the enemy team is bad, and I guess you're assuming the enemy team is bad, but they're not. So they kind of beat you. Like a lot of the times, yes, there was the Ricky smokescreen plus Sandstorm, right, which I did talk about, which is why they kept walking into that smokescreen. But I saw them walk into that smokescreen so many times. Like for example, when they were taking this play reminded me a lot. When they were going for Roshan, right, and the enemy team was going for Roshan, and Armel goes in and tries to lasso. The enemy team has a Ricky. What do you think? They're idiots? They're not going to put a smokescreen as the Roshan falls?
Yeah, sure, but you know he's got Firefly active, so he just walks away and leaves, right? I think no, that's the thing though. He stayed in there, wondering why can't I lasso? And you're like, okay, you're kind of underestimating them at this point. So that was these kind of like plays where you go, that's unnecessary, right? I think that AG took him for a ride, and hopefully this game they're a bit more awake and they're going to have the energy to really beat them.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean first game of the day, right? It's not that early for a gaming schedule, unfortunately. You know, there was that big controversy. I don't know if you heard about it in CS, where it's like, oh man, a 10 a.m. official, right?
Oh yeah.
Which was like, I go to sleep at 8 a.m. What am I supposed to do?
That's true. It's true. I mean, Papita famously from Infamous used to say, the first game of the day is played with your
Dire team ban.
With your feet.
Yes, exactly.
That's what he said.
With your feet.
It's played with your foggy brain, and that's when the monster can come into effect.
He is Argentinian. He has that vocabulary, of course. That's exactly what he said. Yes.
Las jugada con las patas.
Yeah. Con la papita.
I got you. Okay. TNC though. Okay, this time they're gonna go put Gabby on the PA. I am wondering though, Whiteman, we saw him on a hero that wasn't Ench for the first time. They lost that game. It looks like this game he's gonna be playing the Grimstroke. Yeah. Most likely.
Yeah, it seems like it. It could be a 4 Grimstroke with Tims. They have done this before, but for now, I think the combo of Grimstroke versus MPA is really good. Whitemon did used to play a fair amount of Grimstroke. I think his best heroes when he was on Geek Fam, which is what I remember him from the most, were the Oracle, the Grimstroke, and the Enchantress, right? Venge wasn't particularly up there, I wouldn't say. And honestly, last game, it didn't seem like he had that great of an impact. I didn't see him swap save a single person in that game, or at least effectively, right?
Yeah, he did it once.
Because that implies that you're also saving them, right? Where I saw him swap a couple times where they died anyway, regardless.
Yeah. I mean, I get that, but that's not necessarily his fault. Like,
no,
his job is to get the swap off, right?
That's true.
And then it should be other people's to make sure. Oh, the Riki, of course he's gonna jump him. Why aren't we ready with the crush? You know, stuff like that, right? But yes, I mean,
unfortunately, overall, as a force, as Dota is a team game, it wasn't enough.
No, it was not. But at this time, they're looking strong with their draft. I think PA and Grimstroke pretty confident heroes for them, and a really nice combo already in lanes. And that was one of their issues in last game. I think that TNC got a bit nervous, especially in the mid game, because the lanes went so badly that it was easy for them to lose the plot halfway through. Yeah. But now with the PA Grimstroke, at least you're securing that lane because it's a very, very strong lane. So I would be surprised if you would lose that safe lane at least. Even if Armichidis is going for the IO carry.
Yeah, IO carry can actually be pretty good against PA, unironically. I used to always use the Wisp spirits as like invis detection, because they burst on heroes 100% of the time, as long as they're not magic immune.
Of course,
and if PA is blurred or has Ags, hey, we know where she is.
That is true, that's a good way.
Toss an arrow in that direction. They no longer apply move speed slow, because Ice Frog thought that was the broken part of spirits. I mean, it wasn't. Tell them, though. Keep picking at core. Don't tell them, guys. but yeah, I mean that could be a very it could end up making a difference.
I think what you mentioned about the spirit is a good point, and in fact another point against the PA is also the fact that IO can relocate to anywhere in the map. So what we saw yesterday with was Dreamocell going around, pushing all your lanes, nobody being able to catch him. Nope, not going to happen this time because the IO can relocate.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a good point. And not only that, but he can also quote unquote counter the PA blink strike range, because he has something with, I think, better range, and that is Tether.
Yes, Tether has better range than blink strike.
I don't know, even what that sounds ridiculous though. So
that talent is ridiculous, but Tether is kind of ridiculous.
It might be close. Like every single time I see PA blink strike after 15, I like have to hover over the ability and be like, wait, what? Did she? No, that's just blink strike.
Yeah, but then Ricky's blink strike is the same thing. So you know.
Yeah, but that's Riki though. Like that's different. The PA is different. You know, she's a phantom assassin. She's not Riki assassin, is she?
Riki the Riki assassin.
The Riki is also.
It was Riki Maru the stealth assassin, and she was Mordred the phantom assassin. And back in Dota 1, actually, both those abilities were called Blink Strike. And then Dota 2 were like, we can't have two abilities with the same name.
You know, actually,
so now it's Phantom Strike!
This is my favorite piece of Dota trivia. There's only two pieces, there's only two abilities in the game that have the same noise sound effect.
Oh, which is?
That you don't know?
No.
Okay, fair enough. It's Boulder Smash on Earth Spirit with Split Earth from Leshrac. Speaking of Leshrac, oh, I'm crazy,
what
dude.
A guess!
What a guess!
Incredible.
You know, couldn't have done that better.
Prediction enveloped in memes.
That's like literally actually the noise it makes, by the way. That's the Split Earth noise. AG, they play a really mean Lesh on the DB, which leads me to believe that this is going to be
not a big fan.
A support Wisp, in my opinion.
Support Wisp is fine with Leshrac, because Leshrac has really high movement speed. You can also put him mid, by the way. Before, but it's interesting because in the SCA, you're actually seeing IO carry, but until now, in this patch, it was IO mid.
Right, but that's the problem, is that I don't really like the Wisp mid either, because it's kind of the same problem we see AG do with the Lash when they previously picked Lash, which is, well, where's your win condition? Because Wisp is not a win condition. In my opinion. I mean, if it is, it's a very shallow one in my opinion that is easily countered by the Centaur not simply, but buying a pipe and being in the right place to make sure he gets it off, right? Because it's like, it's good magic damage, but you're already kind of doubling down with the Lesh, with the Pulse Nova. Sure. I know Diabolic Edict is physical and all that, that's great, right? But that's not going to be enough. So maybe I wouldn't really prefer to see it, only because we have seen AG and two of their previous losses kind of fall into the same thing.
Allow me to disagree with this, because I don't think that AG's problems when they lacked win condition, quote unquote, were because of their draft. They had a draft win condition. Lash can be a win condition. The problem is, if you have a win condition, should DB be farming the dead lane 30 minutes in?
Yeah.
No, of course not. I mean, your win condition was dead half the game. The problem in that, if the other games I saw were that they might have a win condition, they could create it, but they weren't itemizing anyone for that, and they weren't playing anyone in that position. So it didn't really make much sense. Particularly the game that sticks to my mind is the Kunkka that went for utility items, and the Lesh that was committing suicide in the dead lane.
I guess fair point, but they didn't do it at all last game. Last game they looked fantastic.
By the way,
this game they looked fantastic, which leads me to believe it's just something that DB does when he's on the Lesh, right? That's why I think it. Because if it was only one game, I'd go, oh, they have to make sure they don't do this. But since they've done it 2 games in a row, to me that says, ooh, this is maybe a pattern that they have whenever they play Lesh. Maybe it's just DB's play style. So you have a good point. It would be unfair just to say that even if they have a good draft that they're going to play it bad. That's not what I'm saying, but sometimes they have fallen into that pattern of behavior, which is of concern to me.
Certainly. I mean, in fact, if we see the Lesh carry when, for example, Liquid plays it, because Mika does actually very similar plays to DB, he will push the dead lane, he'll like really be pushing in super aggressive positions. However, the big difference there
there is that they always have the win condition on Quake button, never on Mika.
Interesting. They actually banned the pop.
There's your win condition.
Yeah, there it is. That's much
That's
better.
a real win condition. So it's less mid. Io as a support here as a 5, which works 5. Yeah. You're kind of lacking reliable stuns, to be honest, which TNC can now take advantage of, and they will.
You may now
maybe not.
select your heroes.
It's okay. That's good against the Morphling anyway.
Yeah, she is.
I mean, you have the Void into maybe a Split Earth or an Adaptive Strike into a Split Earth, but I agree. It's a little bit hard. It's not as easy to execute as
I mean, I'm
Phantom
concerned
Spirit
right now
stun.
how you stop the PA, because PA has the Blink Strike, or the Phantom Strike to go in and out, which is a problem, but you also have the Stampede. So, yeah, you can kind of silence her, you can kind of set up a stuns with Leshrac and Mirana. Not the most reliable way to stop a PA from going in and out. And in the end, AG will show that it's going to be a Morphling mid, which I'm assuming they're going to swap the positions around, at least for this game, as Lina crushes that lane easily. But it could be game for either of them, honestly. Armored Geniuses with this last Morphling pick, they seem to make a much better draft, much more consistent draft, easier to play, much like what we saw last game. But TNC Predator also has a really strong draft this time, with better lanes, certainly, and a much better early mid game. And they know that if they just stave off the aggression that Armored Geniuses brings in the first like 30-40 minutes of the game, TNC has a much better late game in terms of like as a team, tactically, they make better decisions most of the time. So let's see if this game can go for TNC, or if Armored Geniuses will surprise us all and 2-0 TNC.
Yeah, 2-0 would definitely be wild, but I think from what we saw last game, very possible. And I think they set themselves up nicely, so long as Avo said, the Morphling is not against the Lina. That is a major concern. Of course, the Lesh, he does a little bit better. He fares much better in that lane. But we're going to have to see. We got underway for game number 2 between AG already getting the upset win in game number 1 versus TNC, who granted are a little bit shakier these days without the leadership of Captain March. But let's see how they can recover after maybe a loss that they weren't expecting, to say the least. I think if you were, I mean, shoutouts to you if you were an AG fan and you said, no, they're going to beat TNC, because, well, gosh darn it, you're right. As we see our very classic 0-second pause in the SCA.
I like that. I think this draft is a bit easier for TNC to execute too. I'm much more comfortable with TNC this time. But as I mentioned earlier, you never know, honestly, because
yeah, they looked kind of like shaky. I mean, they were confident. It felt like in the wrong places, and they didn't really adjust to the play style, right? They didn't really adjust very well, which again, I don't know if that's indication of something missing there, that maybe March would normally step in. But again, that's me looking a little bit too into the psyche of teams, which I think I shouldn't be doing. But I think there's a pattern of behavior here, right, that I can't deny.
yeah, for sure. But this time it's looking a bit better because Mamang Daya is there as well as the Morphling. You know, I'm much more comfortable with this, and I'm really hoping they don't put Mamang Daya mid. They seem like they're gonna though. I don't know, man. Mid Morphling versus Lina, especially early.
From Tark Cut to Summit, and got to you too, Dai. I think Dai's must be thank you. Have fun, Whitemon. They give so much support to Whitemon. You gotta love this, the countrymen supporting each other. But now they're looking to kill him immediately after, as I say that as the 4-man smoke will break. This time, TNC, nice adjustment. They go, hey, they're gonna do they're gonna be up to some funny business. Just be ready. I'm an immaterial girl. I didn't know that was the Master Tier voice line. But look at this. I mean, look where Armel is holding up. Look where Gabby was holding up well underneath the Tier 1 tower, as they know that they're gonna go for a 5-man, or even 5-man rotation for one of the bounty runes for First Blood. Not gonna happen this time though.
Try to take bounties here, perhaps. Yeah, at least they take the 2 bounties, but they don't accomplish the usual play by AG, which is all smoke gang. It's minute 1.
TI6 style, you know.
I'll at least take the bounty rune here.
Yeah, I was in the stand at TI6, which is why I just bring it up, because you saw it every game, dude. Shadow Demon, Mirana, ET, every single game, just illusions destroying your buildings. DC, what a time. I can't wait for Lance to be back, dude. I really can't wait for Lance to be back.
This game, I don't understand this mid lane, to be honest. Is
real quick, can I
Lina?
interrupt you for a second? What? Just Gabby's quick buy. He knows what he wants. This is what a girl wants, you know. A material girl, 3 divine rapiers. I don't think so. Hit me up with the jewelry, fam. But
exactly.
mid lane though, as you were saying.
I just don't understand why they choose to put the Lina Monas. Is this matchup better than I'm expecting it to be? And I would expect the Lina, honestly, one misstep, life strike array, and you die.
Yeah.
So it seems like a really difficult lane to run for the Morphling.
You're outrange. Dragon Slave as well is great for CSing and almost always connects onto you as well for that extra efficiency.
Yeah, the only thing that I guess is the advantage of Morphling is that Lina's projectile speed is...
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah,
I mean, that's true. But
Morphling is really fast. He's like a dentist, you know? He's like a little water gun in the dentist.
Oh, interesting. That's a very, very unique comparison, my friend.
That's all I think
extremely accurate.
Yeah. But he's not doing too well to begin with, so I don't know. But like, is it not better to put Last Strike? Last Strike's matchup against Lina is just okay. Like, nobody really wins that lane. It's 50-50. Slightly Lina favorite because Lina's favored in most lanes, but that's it. And putting your Morphling here, especially if your Morphling is your win condition, right? Kind of sacrificing a lot of his farm. Like, he might just die here. Look at this. Especially level 1. He's gonna die to Lina? No. Needed one more hit, but you kicked him out of lane, just fine. Well, as much as you can kick out a Morphling, right? He kind of stays there, morphing around. It's really annoying.
I mean, and it's level 1 morph, which is just the slowest thing in the world. That might have been a kill. Attribute shift, yes, thank you. That might have been a kill.
Wrong.
If Armel was willing to go for it, I'm surprised that he didn't, to be honest, because he had the mana for the Dragon Slave and the range easily for a last hit, or for an auto attack, which would have been a kill. But maybe it's better. Maybe Armel's, 5-heading this, and he's like, well, he's gonna be forced to use all of his regen. I still have plenty of regen, and I'm just gonna be able to just put him back to low HP in like 3 seconds. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, that tracks. Yeah, this is going to be better for Armel in the short run. It would have been first blood goal, but look at this. He is bullying Among Daya already.
That's what I expected,
hard.
right? I was going crazy. When pro players do this, I always think, is this matchup better than I thought? You know, no, I was right. It's just they just didn't really consider it, or they don't care. I'm not really certain why they do this. Maybe just DB is not comfortable playing the mid lane. We have seen him do this before, right? Which is quite surprising. When Mamang Daya was playing the rookie, they actually swapped around. Mamang Daya played the carry role, and DB was playing the mid role. So clearly they're capable of doing this.
Yeah, and Armel's actually such a good Lina too. 14 and 7. Yes, he's got a really good matchup here, but still.
Nah, last hitting with Lina against a Morphling is still difficult. Your projectile speed is the speed of my grandmother. She's 95.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Well, see, for an American grandma, it's the Colt 45, which is just as fast as anyone else.
Christ. Yeah, mine's a Spanish grandma. She's really fast at making croquetas, though. She's really good at that.
Dude, I miss Latino food so much.
That's like empanadas, I think, or it's like Spanish dim sum, I guess. Is
Pues es como tortilla con el pollo adentro y.
Stop speaking Spanish. Our viewers are not from Spain.
That's true. That's true.
I'm the only Spaniard that plays Dota, friend. He's in the kingdom with a Dragon Slave.
It's not true. Flapjack is casting in Spanish.
He's half Peruvian, very unfortunately.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Wommy.
Nice.
They need one more hit.
He's got 5 stick charges. He's totally fine.
Okay, wait. If they had Stroke of Fate, he would have died, but unfortunately, oh, never mind. Gabby's crazy. Stroke of Fate. There we go.
Oh, nice. But
what
I think Gabby get paid for this.
Gabby's playing with the shadows.
Get 3 recharges. Oh, it'll be fine.
They're gonna punch him.
Nah, they got him. 10 wand charge is totally fine here. Although last time I said that they did die, but I know for a fact Lynn is totally fine here. There's no way he dies. There we go.
Oh, they might get a counter kill on YM. Oh, middle lane, they finally kill on Daya. That's another thing, by the way. Rubik is great at killing Morphling because he also brings a lot of burst damage, and he can easily rotate to this mid lane, right? I mean, you are giving Armel a free game. Maybe they felt bad from last game, and they're like, all right, this Armel needs to have a good lane.
All right, Armel, we dumpstered you last time. Now it's your turn.
It's it's odd. I don't know because this Morphling is not having a good time. At least top lane Leshuk is okay, but it's not like he's really canceling KP. Like KP's fine.
No, KP's fine. Yeah, he's going for now 3 rings. Oh,
did you see that deny? Sorry, that deny of Armel against an adaptive strike with your sad projectile speed.
No, I did not.
That was beautiful. Armel is so good. I forget how good he plays Lina because he's not the greatest mid hero. It's very risky mid hero nowadays, but Armel still really brings out the best in him. Okay, DB, you madman tried to go for the bounty rune. He was baiting out the ball, Kedic. Sorry, that the splitter.
Is DB going for the build? No points in the lightning storm, which is I think a little bit surprising to me, especially because off of especially based on the previous matches that we've seen DB on. He tends to favor it a little bit. So I think this is good though. This is a good sign that he's definitely going to be playing a different style here. We'll see though. In the side lanes where there's more creeps, an extra hero. Well, there's not more creeps, but you know you're generally always fighting around the creep wave, and you can't clear them as fast because you don't have the levels compared to the mid lane. Womi's dying.
Yeah, Womi. One last hit by Gabby. Womi lands a blink strike. Goodbye to Night Stalker. This time you're not getting a counter grail OYM.
Phantom
You have no
strike.
leap.
Not blink strike.
I'm a Dota 1 player. Also, I just checked, by the way, because the chat was telling us tie, which they were saying to each other, is not thank you, it's poop. So when they were saying that to each other, it wasn't like, oh yeah, thank you. You just went poop, poop to each other.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah, I had to double check to make sure the Twitch chat was not memeing us, but they were being genuine for once.
That is great.
Sorry,
Well,
guys,
you know,
we're from Malaysia, not from Indonesia.
a little bit of tie back, you know, and you're good to go, man. You know, it's
Yep.
hilarious.
Well, 2K lead for TNC right now. Mainly, I think it's in Armel. But honestly, no, actually not true. Both Armel and Gabby are dominating in terms of Armel.
Armel's got Laguna. It is at least 3 points in the attribute shift, but again, you should body him. He's got a 2-level
Dire's middle
advantage.
tower.
Yeah, the problem with this is that when you have a burst damage hero in mid... Oh, wait, arrow, wrong Dahlia. Are you still fighting this? An out of strike?
Dire's
Yes.
structures
Max
are
strength out of strike, push him out. But when you have when you're playing against a hero with burst damage, it's okay because you can at least attribute shift the damage away, right? But you still can't last it when you have full strength, right?
They're
So
gonna,
that's the problem.
yeah, they're gonna lose this tower as well, unless Mamang Dai wants
And
to.
there he is life. They have Laguna.
Okay,
Yeah,
maybe
you'll
not.
thank
Good-
God for that. Just
good
waiting for him to attribute
Good
shift too much.
rotations. Good rotations out from the AG supports. That was fantastic. Perfectly played.
Yeah, but this time, unlike last time, though, you're not going to get the huge advantage in the mid lane that you did. So
No.
you're just saving your mid laner, and the rest of the lanes for TNC are going to work.
That's okay though. That's okay because AG he's leaving the lane anyway because he's gonna farm these massive stacks that he's already got going for him. Right? It's nighttime, so the Night Stalker's totally fine by himself. So the supports aren't needed, to be honest. So I think that's the most efficient play to be doing to make sure they don't lose that tower with the 5-minute catapult wave. I understand that yes, Morphling he's not winning, but you know always look at the bright side of life. You know, Monty Python.
Man, one of my favorite songs, actually. Life of Brian is a gem. It's better than the Holy Grail, in my opinion.
You've not seen the Holy Grail though. How can you say that?
Don't out me on stream,
Blasphemy.
Seek and Strike!
Blasphemy! You have to watch
anyway.
that movie still. But a good rotation out from Armel, who will punish the Wisp.
Dire's
DB
top
able
tower
to safely
is
back
under
off.
attack.
As his tower actually under some serious pressure. He does have the wave here to play with, so he is going to be able to nuke him down and force back the attackers, at the least for now. Morano, not wasting any experience, is now going to probably head back top lane, looks like, but should get some experience mid lane, as Tim's is doing here on the Rubik. I love watching Tim's Rubik. It's a treat.
KP, sorry. In trouble. He has the hold already, though, but they're all getting this physical, and KP's like, forgot about that part. DB, thanks to the help from the IO, he's a bit too fast. In fact, the IO Leshrek was a combination that was quite abused a while. I love the IO lines. He was quite abused for a while because getting extra movement speed to Leshrek is really nice. So you have to be careful about DB. He can be a really powerful enemy right now. But because Armel and Gabby are doing so well, it's still not that scary. You have a lot of burst damage. And Leshrek, much like DP, hates burst damage. Because he likes long team fights where Pulse Nova can go for aeons and aeons.
Yeah, I mean, just very true. Yeah. KP, he's back. Just gonna sap some experience here. Whatever he can do.
Let's see if we get how quick we get pipe on KP, because this time he is rushing it. He's like, yeah, we're not gonna let this Leshrek play, because you've disabled the Morphling, right? So their magical damage is all they have, really. Maybe a bit with Dark Ascension from the Night Stalker, but that's it. Pipe is so valued this game, honestly.
No, Boots of Travel already finished up DB, so he's free to
bad.
push bottom now that he has these bots. His top tower is going to fall in the meantime there to Gabby and the company, and it's going to be power treads into the Battle Fury. Gabby, Dark Ascension, down bottom. They are going to find White Mon, and he is 100% certified dead.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
White Mon,
attack.
only a boss 5, but he was unnecessarily playing the dead lane here. DB can actually take advantage of this and try to go and kill that tower. But they've already taken their tier 1 up top, right? And they're invading the jungle. Look where Gabby is.
yeah.
He knew this was going to happen.
Stacks too.
Yeah. He's building Battle Fury as well, so it's going to be a really fast, actually pretty fast Battle Fury this game, it seems like.
Tim's has stolen. There it is. There it is. That's what we're looking for. The Tim's Rubik, Tether.
And Tim's is just now fulfilling the same thing as UK. UK is so confused, he stops tethering out of confusion. He's like, what is this? Why can they become me? They take the tower now in the middle lane, so this completely opens up the enemy jungle now. And that's what Gabby wants.
And this is bad because unlike most other heroes that want to farm stacks, what am I going about? Oh, Lesh does not really like farming ancient stacks, mostly because they're just too strong. It takes too much mana, and you're too squishy. He really prefers to farm smaller stacks in the jungle, right? And well, he's just not able to get that done there with the amount of pressure they're applying now. Is the arrow just shy? Actually, now the arrow to destroy the wagon instead. My bad.
That the only ancients that didn't have the magic resist were the...
Oh, yeah, the Prowlers, they got taken out.
Yeah, they got taken out, so Lesh is like a really, really sad boy. Lesh and Tinker cried when that happened, because those were the only two that could kind of reliably farm, so yeah, you're totally right about the Ancients. That Bulk Edict is just terrible when you're farming big stacks.
Yeah, no, not good at all, yeah. You farm mostly with the Pulse Nova anyway, with the stacks, like you're saying, but yeah, I mean, it's just real unfortunate, because all the Ancients, they actually have auras, so the reason they get really hard to farm later, or the more you stack them, is because some of the auras are a little bit busted when they all get combined. There's like armor, there's like HP, there's magic resist, is in some trouble. He's going to be warm, he's gone a bit too far. Relocate is going to be canceled here by the silence, though. Nicely done by Whitemon.
Okay, 1K, 2K lead now for TMZ, very good. And I also really like that Gabby did something. I also see Hector, for example, who's a really good farmer, do this. And Raven will do this sometimes too, where they start building Battle Fury with the damage first, as opposed to the typical Perseverance. Because it actually slightly increases your DPS and will increase your farming speed. And it's the kind of build you can do when you're completely uncontested. And we're seeing this because his Battle Fury is coming at a really good timing, and he still went for Magic Wand, Wraithband, Treads, you know, so he actually has a lot of extra stuff.
You have to go for the Magic Wand, Wraithband, and specifically the Treads, because without the Perseverance, you simply don't have the mana regen.
Exactly, yes.
So you're completely right, though. I think this is a really interesting playstyle. Sometimes we see PAs go for the just simple Wraithband into Battle Fury, quote-unquote
the
naked
Battle Fury,
right? But I think this one is very appropriate this game, especially because you control the enemy jungle, so that's just free farm for you.
And right now, AG is desperately trying to close the map for the enemy team. But this is the issue, right? They can try to take this tier 1, and they can now try to go into the enemy triangle, but there's no way they're getting back to their own jungle. It's been stolen from them, and it's going to be forever TNCs now. Because they have put all the sentries there, all the wards. Gabby has made this his home, and it's very difficult now to actually stop Gabby from farming. And I think he might actually get a 14-minute Battle Fury, which is really, really good timing, honestly.
It is.
15 is standard for his build.
It is
and even
really,
with
really
this
good.
build, I would say 15 is actually kind of quick, because he actually went for extra items like Infused Raindrops.
Yeah, and then in the meantime, TNC, they're getting distracted by a cat, but not for too long. I can't believe Tim's is still just holding on to Tether, but I mean, why not? He's got some pretty good base regen stats this early on, right?
Right? Yeah, I think it's quite nice. And you actually take advantage of Centaur's nice moves.
He's like, yeah, I'll play Wisp. Like, I earned myself, bro. Don't worry, you get in there.
Tim's is a brutally good Wisp, by the way. It was sad when they changed Wisp, because, you know, Tim's is a really mechanical player, so it was a beautiful thing to watch him play Wisp back when it was harder. Gabby actually now completed Battle Fury before minute 14. This is absolutely absurd. I mean, it's not the fastest Battle Fury I've ever seen, but it's really fast, though.
Yeah, it's really, really
And he has
impressive.
stacks ready, by the way, for when he got the Battle Fury. This is coordination.
This is great. I mean, again, no, just last game. I mean, it wasn't one much different. It was like 7-3 maybe in favor of AG, and we see TNC actually getting aggressive, where they might find Mamang Daya just kind of farming here. We have the telekinesis lift. He has gotten off the attribute shift, however, but they're a little bit slow to apply the vessel charge there. Stampede to try and follow up. Nice load there as he's going to morph into Rubik, but that's going to allow Armel to pick up the kill and finish farming his nice stack of ancients. Thank you very much, they say. As Gabby, in the meantime, finishing off the kitty cat now. Gabby, though, in some trouble, surrounded by 3 heroes. KP has rotated on through, though. Has the stomp, connecting it onto 2. It's the Soulbind as well. Will find 2 heroes with that double edge, make it a quadruple edge, but the relocate out just in the nick of time should save the life of DB, but not the Wisp, unfortunately.
3K lead now for TNC. It's not even minute 15, and they already got all their basic, core items essentially here. KP is closing in on that Blink Dagger, which is the last thing they're really looking for. And Armel actually going for a Shadow Blade build. He's taking one from Illidan. Always loved Saints. This is a build that everyone made fun of for a while, and now everyone's doing it. Yulz to counter Yulz? No need. Look, actually, LYM was baiting that.
Yeah.
He thought that Armel was gonna use.
But he didn't even start the animation though.
Yeah, he should have baited a bit
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Should have pumped. You know, like he
Yeah,
did last
you
time.
pump fake it. You have her throw her hand back right for the
Yeah.
arrow. But no, I mean it's whatever. You
It's
show
a
her,
spear.
hey,
It's not an arrow.
It's to put the fear of God in them, as MLP likes to say.
No, drag and drop.
Drag and drop. That's right. Put the fear of God in them.
Poor guy, already giving MLP more credit.
Oh, it was my mistake. It was my mistake. I think I
Dyer's
didn't
top
play. I
tower
don't want to
is
talk
under
about that.
attack.
That's whatever. But more than that, after that kill, his farm is very,
Radiant
very
structures
lackluster,
are
which is
fortified.
not how you want to be playing Morphling. They already have the full vessel to counter you with the Lina, with
Dyer's
KP as
structures
well.
are
Tim's
fortified.
just so much nukes and burst. It's not going to be a really fun game for him
Is
here.
under attack.
They're gonna take the tier 2, I think, finally. I mean, they're just waiting for the next lane increase. However, it's good that AG is doing this as well. The trading towers have
Dyer's
released.
top tower
It sucks
is
a bit
under
because
attack.
the match
Radiant's
currently favors
middle
TNC
tower
regardless
is
due to their
under attack.
farm,
Tower
but it
has
leaves to kind of matching their space control, which is fine. Their map
Radiant's
control, sorry.
bottom tower
And you
is
are
under
utilizing the
attack.
last shark pretty decently for yourself. I think TNC can just wait this out for a while though. They don't want to fight at nighttime anyway, so. I mean, you have Narc Ascension, so maybe you try to go for a
Dyer's
pickoff
top
here once
tower
Lina gets
is
Shadow
under
Blade,
attack.
and then maybe smoke with a Shadow Blade, or maybe just Lina still trying to get a solo kill because it's quite viable.
They're gonna
smoke.
smoke right under vision though. Right under vision, so this shouldn't go anywhere here for TNC as they're not going to gather onto the high ground. Ward's placed down. They will try and push this, but Armel with the Shadow Blade here could potentially re-engage. You'll stepped it up here with the White Mon. They're going to try and move them down, and the rest of TNC will just kind of let that one happen. Double Lifter, double Fade Bolt on top as KP now re-engaging from behind. Wally trying to live. Nice mechanism there from UK. Should allow him to escape quite easily as the drum charge is used and Moonlight Shadow to retreat under the cover.
Night Stalker.
They're
running
near
in. There's the boy. Armel, careful. KP. By the way, I suppose that you've already something before, right?
Yeah, long ago.
Fine. The arrow will hit the PA. Pretty decent target, but the Inkswell hurt. And actually, they baited Wami realizing his mistake as he runs away. But the the Stroke of Fate hits both of them, and Morphling doesn't have to be shift in time. He got surprised by the telekinesis, which is a really low cast point, and they punished him for it. Armel finds a secondary kill here on the Mirana. Lifestruck Array. Nah, Yols to counter Yols. Mirana can still leap. No, never mind.
No.
She had no contingency plan. And actually, UK was trying to save her as well.
Whoa, I did not see the
Radiant's
UK there.
bottom tower
He
is
relocated
under
in,
attack.
didn't he, that mad lad?
That was much like what happened to Europe. DP running away with the Volk Edict, and no, okay.
Yep, they're going to right into Roche though. They already have the Deso on PA. She's able to join fights quite nicely, and this is going to be Aegis in her back pocket like a laptop in her back pocket, and should proceed quite nicely from this game. Going a lot smoother than the last one here for TNC. They should already have the pipe completed. No, not quite. I always forget how expensive this recipe is there. So still needing a little bit for the pipe of insights. But even after you have that, it's going to be really, really quite a nice game here for TNC. They've got all the tools proceeding quite nicely here. Armel going for that Shadow Blade is going to allow him to get maybe a few surprise kills. Even just one onto the Morphling is really going to make that worth it for him. And then from there, I think the rest of the teams here are just going to be way too strong here, as we still have our Morphling quite poor, to be honest. He is trailing the pack, and now 4K behind Gabby.
Yeah, I mean, this is expected, honestly, after his laning stage, though. I think he's recovered actually quite decently, considering how bad his laning was, but the mistake was just putting him against Alina. They should have just put the last strike there. And now they've been playing from behind from the start just
Dyer's
because of that
middle
decision,
tower is under
and it's
attack.
not great for AG. We've mentioned this multiple times, but I think this team excels in the early to mid game, much more so in the late game. So TNC can really take one for them if this game goes a bit too long. However, they're starting to play aggressive
has been
themselves, and they want to create more space for the map. They want to dominate the enemy triangle, make sure they have no place to farm. But to do so, they gotta take the bottom tier 1 and tier 2.
Yeah, and that's always, of course, the last two towers. Generally, the last two towers to fall here, but I think this game, there's good reason for them to try and play that a little bit more aggressively. Gabby just walking around looking for something to farm, but he's gonna have to wait a little bit longer, unless there's a little Morphling that goes a bit too far.
Radiant's top tower.
Won't be doing a
is
good
under
job of
attack.
playing that lane. Going for the Aghanim Scepter, which I do like. I think we've seen... Was it AG play Night Stalker earlier with the Ags? No, that was Boom, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
When they won versus TNC.
No, it was AG as well that tried to do the Ags Night Stalker one. Yeah. They did it at Ags as well. They lost that one though, unfortunately.
Yeah. Interesting Rubik build this game. I think he is just Tim's is just trying to play Wisp here. He's going for the Guardian Greaves, which is a good item. But you know, that's not usually
playing IO.
that's not usually the Blink Dagger or the Aether Lens that we usually see teams build. I mean, listen, if he queues up a freaking Holy Locket, I'm gonna lose it, dude.
In a good way, right? Because this is a great way. Like, I never thought of a counter to IO, just pick Rubik. Because Tether is impossible not to steal, right? Honestly.
No, not always. In fact, it can be kind of hard to steal, right? Oh, hold on.
So?
Fight breaking out. We're gonna get Lesh here.
There we go. Leshok stuck thanks to the Yule Scepter. Secondary Yule Scepter from Lesh, but that's not gonna do much. They had everything for him. And no, I mean, like, because IO, whenever he tethers to try to run away, you can always steal it there, then you keep it for a really long time.
Sure.
I think it's rather easy to steal.
Yeah, but I mean, an IO shouldn't, quote unquote, shouldn't be in that position ever, right? An IO should be constantly tethered, because tether, you no longer have to recast.
That's true.
So it just lasts forever now until you cancel it, until you break the tether. So, you know, and pros like to say, oh, if the tether breaks, that's always the IO's fault, right? Quote unquote. I think that's a little, whatever, wishy-washy, especially when you have cores that just have so much mobility.
Well, you do mimic their mobility, though.
Yeah, but you don't copy waveforms, you don't copy Blink Dagger, you know, like... yeah, whatever. Obviously, I think I made my position on that stance clear just from that statement. But so it can be easy to steal, obviously, because it's not like he's just gonna cast Wisp. It's not like a big concern to an IO. If you give him tether, you'll be like whatever. But it is generally quite easy to steal. But if an IO is playing quote unquote perfectly according to what pros seem to think an IO should be played like, then you're never gonna steal it, right?
I agree, but I would say that in this game it's a bit different because you don't have the best IO partner. Like the IO should be going between Leshrac and Morphling and even Night Stalker constantly, right? Some of the advantages here is that you will tether before the fight and then tether in the middle depending on who needs the healing, because you don't have the Gyrocopter or the old Tiny or even the CK or whatever to combine with the IO. So I think this is why the Rubik's works so well, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna play IO. I'm gonna play like a poor man's IO. Oh, he went for Blink Dagger. No, Tims!
No, Tims, don't.
I was so excited. I wanted Holy Locket this game.
He's trolling us. That's okay. I'm sure he'll build.
He went for Vessel still, right? So I guess that's the best way.
I mean, yes, but mostly for, of course. Well, yeah, I guess the IO and the Morph. It's got just such good utility this game, doesn't it?
Exactly. Right?
Radiant's top
So
tower
it's still a really good idea. I like the itemization. I like that Tim's always thinks a bit outside the box as well. He's not too afraid to try itemizations that people would criticize, right? Let's see. Silence at the 1-me. They use the Stampede as well to get close to him, and they decimate him. And LYM trying to get away. Oh, the secondary lead. Look at the wall. Look at the wall. Pray they're not coming in.
The bait.
Nice. Very well played there. They thought they was going to leap a second time, but that was a good TP. Still a lost fight, by the way.
Yes.
I mean, you got away, but still not good for you.
I mean, it's the small things, right? You know, everyone remembers, since for some reason we're bringing up the UK, and you know, everyone remembers Dunkirk, not for the fact that the British had lost the entire, well, mainland continent, but the fact that they escaped, right?
And the fact that was a great movie.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, I mean, a little bit of a Dunkirk there. He manages to escape, and nice stuff there. KB now finishing off the full pipe of insight, as we have a BKB now for DB. That's going to allow him to play a bit aggressively, but you know, I mean, a Deso on the PA already is still going to be able to cut through him very, very quickly, even with a Wisp and his mechanism. So some caution there is to be definitely advised.
I mean, the bottom tower is not going to follow, and this is what I was talking about, though, where it doesn't really matter if you escape here because you're still being choked to death.
Oh, of course, of course.
It kind of sucks because you need to make something happen. This is a good smoke. Well, it's a good smoke, no, but it's desperate smoke, and you have to do this or else you lose the game. It's the Hail Mary smoke when it comes to the point when you realize you have zero map control. You barely have any wards.
The smoke with Invis, and they're thinking it's elsewhere now, Womi.
Wait, really? They didn't have any vision.
No, they didn't have detection, and Gabby now is going to say hello. A little bit of a stun onto Lim. Imagine to escape those for now. Gabby holding on to that 10-second BKB, though, as the arrow will connect onto him. Stampede utilized now. Is that going to be the go-ahead? LSA, though, stop trying to re-engage further onto one, but look at that, actually. They actually find the kill. Look at that, was with a stolen splitter from Tims. No.
It wasn't. It was a stomp. It was a hoof stomp from
a great hoof stomp from KB.
Yeah, you know what was best is that he actually waited. Oh, they're going to catch the Night Stalker too. He's flying in the air. They have the ink swell. Well, me, what you going to do?
Woe is me. Anyway, TNC here, what they did was really good is KP knew the Manta style was coming up, so the Morphling, usually you don't do anything. That's a GG. As Morphling, usually you don't start attribute shifting if you have Manta, because you can always evade, right? And then you start attribute shifting afterwards. It's very common on Morphlings, it's just kind of muscle memory. But Tim's knew this, or sorry, KP knew this, and he waited until the Manta style came out and then Hostam predicting it. So very, very well played there by KP.
Yeah.
Overall, though, I think this game boils down to one simple thing. Do not put